What's up, everybody, and welcome to my AEW review. A lot of things going on in the show tonight as the build to Revolution continues. I did not know Revolution was changed to March all of a sudden. I thought the show was supposed to be in February, but apparently it's in March now. I don't really know why. According to my friend, it's some sport thing or event that's going on, so he didn't remember what. I'm gonna have to go look that up, but yeah, Revolution changed to was changed to March now all of a sudden. So I was kind of confused because I was like, wasn't this pay per view supposed to be in February? But it got changed up to March. But we did kick it off though with Lance Archer and Eddie Kingston. Good match, I should say. Good opening. A lot of it was Archer beating the crap out of Kingston, which he was trying to go for the blackout, but Kingston was able to get out of it. The Butcher and the Blade ended up dragging out Jake Roberts because Lance Archer had told Jake Roberts to go back to the back, but when they basically pulled him out there, the Bunny ended up handing Kingston, I guess, some brass knuckles, which Kingston ended up hitting Lance Archer with and taking him out with the brass knuckles. Then they end up picking up Lance Archer again one more time and hit him with a big spinning back fist right after that. So Kingston, who really did need a win from here, because honestly, I feel like Eddie Kingston's been taking a lot of L's lately, especially in a lot of these feuds he's been going on. Now, it is kind of surprising that he beat Lance Archer, but kind of going on right here, using the Butcher and the Blade and the brass knuckles finish. He needed a win, okay? He really needed a win because the guy's just been taking too many L's. We did get a promo from John Moxley talking about how the Young Bucks and the Good Brothers are tag team champions and Omega's the AEW champion. And so it's always some drama with these elite guys and whatnot. But he talked about the Death Triangle. So he doesn't like any of them, and he knows it doesn't like him. And they got beef with Fiend and Kingston and whatnot. So it's gang warfare. And Moxley talked about, I'm just a simple guy. I like to have some sex in the morning. Gets the day started. That's a good way to go in the morning. Get some pussy in the morning. Don't blame him. But he talked about beach break and it's gonna be a lot of pain next week. Okay, but other than John Moxley's promo, it was really good. Apparently, okay. Like I said, apparently though, yes, we had a promo. We had a promo from a promo for Sting and Darby Allin, who talked about the street fight that was coming up. And Sting talked about how Taz called him and Darby hoodlums. Like, hoodlums? Do I look like a hoodlum? Huh? A hoodlum? A hoodlum? And Darby went on, picking up his skateboard, and up hitting the window. And he says, that he is a hoodlum. And he's no different from his partner. Sting started taking his baseball bat and hitting the windows with it. And he says, yeah, I am a hoodlum. It's going to be showtime at Revolution in the street fight. So we'll see what comes from that. Chris Jericho and MJF went against Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison, the Varsity Blondes. This was not a bad match. You know what? I'm starting to warm up on Griff Garrison. He's not bad, even though I do kind of make fun of his name. I did kind of like how MJF was on the promo, like, "Hey, what's up, Garrison? Goldilocks. Last time I was out here with you, I humiliated you and made you quit, huh? So let's see how it's gonna go this time, huh? Let's see how it's gonna go. But this was a good match, though, for what it was. Jericho ended up hitting the Judas effect onto Brian Pillman Jr., and then he hit the Lion Salt, which he actually connected this time and winked into the camera. Now, apparently, they said Jericho did it on purpose last week by tripping with the moonsault. I actually thought he really did trip over somebody when I kind of looked back at it when he botched the Lion Salt and landed on his head and whatnot. So I did not know if I don't know, he was like I said, he winked at the camera. Like I said, apparently he did it on purpose because last week he fell on his head. He just fell on his head. Okay, so I thought it was real, but apparently he did it on purpose. So I don't know why, but now he just did like a perfect lion salt tonight. So I don't know what was the point of doing that though. Like some people say it was supposed to piss off I don't know, the people that are his critics and whatnot. I'm not really sure. I thought it was legit last week, but I guess he corrected it this week, so at least he got it right this time. But where else do we go on from here other than what Jericho I still think it's funny with him when people come out and sing his song, especially the tape shows. They gotta have it played 2 times, folks. They gotta have it played two so he can look into the crowd and whatnot. But next, we did get Tony Schiavone out there as Cody Rhodes and Arn Anderson came out after playing Shaquille O'Neal's promo, how he's challenging Cody to a fight. Basically, it's going to be in March now, and you know, Cody went on to talk about, I could come out here and talk about the whole classic promo about, hey, March 7th, folks, Revolution, get ready for this fight. And, it was going to be him and his wife going against Shaq and Jane Cargill, but Cody, say he couldn't do that because, life happens and his wife is now having a kid and everything. And Cody talked about his moment like these where, he's distracted, but then he gave the microphone to his coach, Arn Anderson, there, and he chewed his ass out after the Peter Avalon match, basically for taking it too lightly last week. Even JR did. As Arn Anderson said, yes, you did deserve that ass chewing last week, okay? And he's going to earn his money tonight because he probably contradicted himself a few times, but it's all about patience. But, he talked about Dusty um, for a minute because, Cody's about to be a father now, and he talked about June 29th, 1985, basically that, Dusty Rhodes, after he faced Tully Blanchard in L.A., basically got on a plane to make sure to see the birth of Cody. As Arn Anderson talked about, how, Cody, if you take this match and everything, you have no regrets and whatnot, and you got to capture the public eye. And that Shaq has dominated, his sport for over 19 years. He's a world class athlete, and talked about Jay Cargill there, dominates whatever area when she walks into a room. And what he's seen from the last 2 weeks is something he's not even sure himself. And basically told Cody, I got an ace in the hole or something, but somebody that's going to get involved, which is Red Velvet. Red Velvet had got in the ring. She started to cut a promo about Jade Cargill's disrespect and being attacked, and talking about Brandy where she can't defend herself. And she knows that Cody won't lay a hand on Jade Cargill. It looks like she's bigger than him, but she says she will. And Red Velvet said that I'm gonna tear your bitch ass up. And now the ball's in your court at this point, talking about Shaquille O'Neal and Jade Cargill. So I will say this. Number one, obviously they have to do the Cody and Shaquille O'Neal thing because there is no Brandy in the whole Jade Cargill, whatever Brandy verse, whatever how that match was going to go. Because if you remember in the promos before in the sit now, Shaq was going to stay out of the way and just let it, Brandy and Jade Cargill go at it. But now since there is no Brandy, now it's just going to be Shaquille O'Neal versus Cody. Or now it's going to be Cody and Red Velvet versus Shaquille O'Neal and Jade Cargill. Obviously, Jade Cargill's going to have to wrestle at some point because we have not seen this woman wrestle. We've seen her cut these overly scripted promos, which I've said before. She's trying, but she's trying to memorize her words from line to line, and it just sounds like she's reading off a script, okay? Red Velvet, I will say this: it's it's an upgrade better than Brandy. Let's get that off the point. And she sounded like a better promo, and at least sounded believable when she was out there. I haven't seen a lot of matches from her. It's probably on AEW Dark, but she has potential. I'll say that. Like I said, the Jade Cargill thing, it's a mystery right now, but it's sink or swim now. Either she's gonna be good in the ring or she's not. I don't know if she's ready. I'm sure she's been training, but it's going to be sink or swim. But I still think her promo game is not good, okay? But obviously, this Cody versus Shaq thing was going to happen one way or another. Next, we got a promo from Kip Sabian about the wedding. I don't give a shit. Moving on. Hangman Page went against Dolph Ziggler's little brother, Hollywood Hunk, Ryan Nemeth. Okay, now apparently there was a promo on YouTube. I guess like one of those Road to Dynamite shows, and I guess Ryan Nemeth was talking about his brother, Dolph Ziggler or whatnot. Basically, I guess throwing shade at him. I have to see it. This is what my friend told me. This match, though, this was basically like another clone version. It was like watching clone Ziggler wrestle. Basically, his brother there, I'm about to say Dolph Ziggler 2.0 at this point. he basically did the same stuff that Ziggler does. The only difference is that Ziggler is more smooth when he does his moves, like that big DDT, spiking Hangman to the ground. It looked pretty clunky, okay. And I even said to myself, how come WWE didn't sign this guy, years ago? Which I believe he was in NXT, but it wasn't really for that long. Obviously, WWE kept the right brother because I don't even know when the last time Ziggler's brother has even wrestled. I don't know. I don't know that much about him. Um, like I said, I think he did okay, but he basically wrestled like his brother. That's kind of what he did. Okay, he basically wrestled like his brother Ziggler, except Ziggler is more smoother with his shit. So I wasn't really that impressed. I just thought I was watching a clone of Dolph Ziggler wrestle. That's all I really saw. I was waiting for him to do a zigzag or a famouser. I honestly was waiting for that. But Matt Hardy was watching, this match, and Hangman Page wanted him to come back. Matt Hardy talked about, you seem lost, you seem conflicted. I know you've been talking to the Dark Order. I know you haven't been, great with the Elite and everything. So, I don't want anything from you. He says, there's a good person that deserves to be happy. He says, I got a huge dressing room. If you want to come talk, it's no strings attached. Take your time. Just, you should take up on my offer, though, okay? So everybody now wants Hangman to join their group all of a sudden for some reason. Then again, everybody in this company is almost in a clique or some type of group right now. So I guess they want Hangman on their squad now. Next, which I would say is the best match out of the entire night, Jax Hartwood versus Jungle Boy. Luchasaurus was going to be handcuffed to both Cash Wheeler and Tully Blanchard. Marco Stunt Growth was sent to the back, thank God. Didn't have to really see him throughout this match. This was fun to watch, though. I like this match. I like this match a lot. This was good. Like I said, this was the best match out of the entire show. Um, like I said, Jungle Boy, he has the potential to be a great face. I know he's like an underdog and everything, but he shows great fire when fighting back, especially, Dax, getting, overpowering him and whatnot. But after like several pin attempts, Jungle Boy was able to get him into an STF, which he ended up making Dax tap out then. Luchasaurus, I guess not Luchasaurus, but Tully Blanchard ended up throwing some powder in Luchasaurus' eyes. Basically, they got the handcuffs off. They went in to beat up Jungle Boy, and then they started beating up Luchasaurus, which they, handcuffed him to the ropes, and then, took some scissors and cut off the horns of his mask. Next thing you know, they send, SCU and Top Flight and Marco Stunt with a chair, I guess to scare FTR off, and that was the end of it. All right, let me say a couple things right here. Number one, like I said, this was the best match out of the entire night. Number two, this makes up for what happened 2 weeks ago in that bullshit tag match where they went 12 minutes with, which I like Jungle Boy, but they shouldn't be going 12 minutes with fucking Marco Stunt Growth right there and, having to cheat to win. So this literally makes up for what happened 2 weeks ago. This was enjoyable. This was a great one-on-one. Jungle Boy able to get the win. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Okay, so, that was good. I don't know what much of cutting someone. I actually thought they were gonna pull Luchasaurus' mask off. That's what I kind of thought they were gonna do. Why should I care if they tore off his horns for? Think about that for a second. Why should I care if FTR like cut the horns off his mask? Like, what value did it really have? What are we gonna see his forehead from the mask or something, or what? Are we gonna reveal his so-called secret identity or something? I didn't understand the point of that. Okay, you cut his horns off. Who gives a shit? I didn't get that part. Keep the midget in the back. Let's keep him away as far as possible. Next, Taz and crew walking in the back, basically talking about Sting and Darby Allin. I guess they saw the merch table and they didn't like what was on the gear on the table with all the Sting and Darby Allin gear. Next thing you know, they beat up the merchandise crew and Ricky Stark's military pressed one of the guys onto a table. Then basically said we're gonna be ready for that street fight and beat y'all ass. Britt Baker versus Shauna. Of course, it's 8:30, so we know the time slot for the women, and they gotta promote that bullshit heels thing. Shauna, we haven't seen in the ring for a very long time, unless you've been watching Dark. Obviously, it's kind of hard to get people across the country with the pandemic right now, But this match itself, I think Shauna had to carry Baker in some sort of way. I did see the part where my friend talked about her going for a clothesline, but ended up punching Baker in the face. I did see that. It wasn't a bad match, though. I think this was a somewhat better women's match. I think Shauna is really good. She's really good in the ring. Baker wasn't the worst thing I seen from Baker, but I think Shauna had to carry it a lot. Obviously, Baker was not gonna lose this match, and she ended up beating Shauna, especially when she has to face Thunder Rosa next week at Beach Break. So Thunder Rosa ended up coming up after the match and chasing off Britt Baker. But I thought the match was pretty okay. Like I said, I like Shauna, so hopefully we see more of her since she's back on TV now. She's not bad. MJF was talking to Sammy Guevara. Wardlow says he's not going to get involved in the matches again. Guevara went on to say, MJF's a great manipulator, but he knows what you're up to, and he says, I'm not playing, okay? As they promoted Beach Break for next week, though, they promoted several things. Number one, let me say this. I know it's a tag team gauntlet, not gauntlet, but a battle royale next week. So can we just say fuck the ranking system at this point? And I'm gonna get to the Young Bucks in a second because I kind of question why are they in this thing too when they're the tag team champions. But we'll get into that in a second, okay? It's just that before you did a freaking raffle, now we're doing a battle royale. So who really gives a shit? I've said it before, dude. Just fuck the ranking system at this point. Nobody really pays attention to it. So yeah, that's how we're just gonna solve the number one contenders. We're just gonna do a battle royale, folks. Battle royale next week, and I'll get to the Young Bucks part in a second. And I know they promoted. They got a tournament I know coming up, and I guess Rio will be returning, and I guess she's gonna be facing Serena Deeb. I know my friend Steven said it was gonna be some life into the women's division, and I said, "You sure about that? I don't see what much is that gonna bring to." Okay, like Rio, I was already kind of up and down with her anyways, especially after she won the belt and nothing really happened. I think it was just Kenny just kind of helping out his homies and whatnot. So I don't think it's gonna bring her. She's gonna bring life into the division. Okay, but as the so-called Bullet Club was in the back, um, they talked about what's going on tonight, them tagging. Buck said, don't bring Don Callis around. Or, the creepy Uncle Don. Omega showed up with Don Callis then. And then, Callis, talked about how he was assaulted by the Young Bucks, which they came out. And, the Good Brothers came out. At least they had their music from Impact. And they went against the Dark Order. All I can really say, this was a spot fest with, the quote-unquote Bullet Club in a way versus the Dark Order. I will say this, they did get the Dark Order a lot of offense, but this was almost basically a spot fest match. Like I said, it was action from beginning all the way to end. If you've seen a Young Bucks match, you know it's going to be somewhat spotty half the time, but, it was whatever. Like I said, the Dark Order, it was at least somewhat of the better members out there than the job guy parts of them, even though so little of them still in it, but this was somewhat of the better squad in there. But like I said, the Dark Order, I could go on and say, these guys just lose all the time as usual, but they weren't really bad out there in this match. I'll say that. But still, most of a spot fest. Right after the match, then, the Young Bucks basically talk about how they were in the Battle Royale, but if they win, they can pick their opponents at Revolution for the pay-per-view. And basically, they did the two sweet sign, looked at Gallows and Anderson. So, yeah, do they really need to be in this Battle Royale after the tag champions? Yes, they get to pick them. We all know who they're going to pick, but I don't see them winning. Like I said before, this Battle Royale makes no sense next week because it's like, dude, I thought y'all had a ranking system. And then you're putting the champions within the Battle Royale, but hey, if they win, they get to pick them. So, not really sure about that. Phoenix came out then, attacking the Bucks. They start attacking the Bucks. Gallows and Anderson start taking out Phoenix then. They probably put him in the Magic Killer, but John Moxley came out. Basically, Phoenix did a big dive onto the Good Brothers, which, by God, Phoenix nearly kills himself every time he does a dive, that he ran to the barricade so hard. I almost thought he got hurt for a second. Kenny Omega came out and tried to attack Moxley, but Mox took him down with a big Death Rider and leaving him on the ground, basically hyping up the six-man tag match for Beach Break. Wasn't a bad show. I think it was better than what was going on last week, but this was a better show. I did like some parts of it. Main event was okay, but spotty. What else? I did like the Sting and Darby promo. The Cody promo was good, which we're still continuing the Shaq thing. Hangman versus Ziggler's brother was okay, but it's just basically clone Ziggler wrestling. The best match out of the entire night was Jax Hartwood and Jungle Boy. Okay, that was the best match out of the entire show. So I did like it. I liked the opener between Kingston and Archer. So, like I said, it wasn't that much of a bad show tonight. I thought it was good, but we'll see what happens next week at Beach Break. So yeah, other than that though, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890. Tell me what you think about the show. Watch out for the NXT review and check out any other reviewers online right now. Rumble review still got coming up Sunday. So yeah, other than that, I'm out of here. See you guys later. Peace.